Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to our 5 in 15 webinar series. This webinar will cover working remotely in emergency situations. My name is Melissa Andreessen, and I am the social media coordinator here at MasterSolve, and I will be your moderator for this webinar. Before we get started, I would like to go through some logistics to make sure everyone is able to ask questions and get feedback on this presentation. You should see on the control panel the raise your hand button. This is used to get the attention of the presenter. Because we have a larger audience today, we ask that rather than raising your hand, you instead submit any questions using the chat facility. We will compile them and address them at the end of the presentation. We will also send a follow-up email and a link to a recording of this webinar. Joining me today are Stephen Lavoie and DeAndre Davis-Taylor from MasterSolve. We are discussing 5 ways MasterSolve has been able to work remotely in emergency situations. DeAndre, before we get started, let's take a look at that poll.
So sure, it looks like lack of communication with colleagues is the biggest challenge that our attendees are facing today. So Stephen, I'll pass it over to you to tell us a little bit about MasterSolve.
All right, perfect. Thanks everybody for joining us today. MasterSolve is a business and strategy consulting firm with a purpose to align people, process, and technologies. We have 5 principles that guide our organization, and they are: 1, be reliable. We only promise what we can deliver, and we deliver what we promise. 2, be relentless about improving. 3, approach every situation with a positive mindset. 4, be customer-centric. Be obsessed with building positive relationships through outstanding interactions. And 5, be open, authentic, and respectful. We have offices in Toronto, Montreal, Canada, and St. Louis, Missouri. And our customers are located across North America in a variety of different industries. Their revenues range from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Melissa, why don't you kick off the first challenge with what we're going to discuss today?
Yeah, so it's hard to pinpoint 5 issues to target because there is so much going on in the world right now. So we decided on 5 things that have helped our company find normality in our current environment. The first point we will discuss is communications. During these strenuous times, it can be difficult to work from home, and the distance apart from your coworkers may make it seem hard to stay connected to each other. As the communications industry evolves rapidly with technological advances, we find ourselves using them more often. So Stephen, how does MasterSolve stay connected?
Well, to stay connected here at MasterSolve, we use, like many other companies, video conferencing solutions like GoToMeeting or Zoom to hold meetings and presentations. For quick work matters and socializing, our platform of choice is Slack, which contains call functionalities, chat, and file sharing features. Whereby is also useful for quick face-to-face meetings and screen sharing. These free and paid services allow us to stay on track and not feel so isolated during the workday. For our internal phone systems, we use a voice over IP soft phones that keep us connected anywhere we have the internet, access to the internet.
That's great. It is important to stay connected, not only through communications with colleagues, but also through file sharing. So that leads us to the next challenge many have when working remotely: access to information. Remote file access is necessary when you need to work away from the office, and it is pretty much what it sounds like: a service that lets you access work files anywhere, anytime, and with whatever device you like, as long as you are connected to the internet. Stephen, did you want to discuss how we make sure everyone here at MasterSolve is able to access the information that they need?
Yeah, absolutely. We primarily use Google Suite, so that included with that is Google Drive. This helps staff share documents easily between all members of the company. We also use remote access tool called AnyDesk, which gives employees access to their office computers remotely. This is useful when staff need access to files that aren't uploaded or shared on the shared drive, but instead maybe on their work computers.
The next challenge that can pop up when working remotely in an emergency situation is in regards to business finances. specifically being paid on time when traditional payment options are overwhelmed or businesses have reduced hours. Hey, Stephen, how do we make sure MasterSolve gets paid accurately and on time for the work that we do?
Well, even though conditions may not be the best for many businesses, we still need to have a way to handle financial responsibilities. Many invoicing options exist, but the key to this is finding one that works well for your company's situation. At MasterSolve, we've looked for solutions that will work well with our CRM. In our case, QuickBooks makes it easy for us to invoice clients immediately and ensures our employees get their paychecks on time, no matter who they bank with. When sending proposals to customers, we use digital solutions like PandaDoc or DocuSign. They are great solutions to make sure contracts and agreements are legally bindable and accessible. Also, both solutions, DocuSign and PandaDoc, can be integrated with a number of different CRM solutions.
So working from home can provide a unique set of challenges for both employees and employers. So one being tracking your own productivity or the productivity of your staff, which can be difficult without proper processes in place. Stephen, how are we enabling productivity at MasterSolve while working remotely?
Our CRM is one of the essential systems of productivity in our organization. Our sales, support, delivery departments all use the solution. Our marketing and finance departments have solutions that connect and enhance the CRM solution with the other marketing and finance solutions. Integrations like these, or simple integrations like email sync or connecting soft phones, can reduce a lot of manual data entry and provide quick and easy options for tracking tasks. Setting a schedule and taking breaks is also important for productivity. We also encourage our team members, when they have downtime, to take a look at taking additional training courses and continuing to educate themselves with certifications.
And the final challenge many face when working from home is being able to strike a balance between your work and home life. When working remotely, your home pretty much becomes your office, so you never stop working. As an example, I noticed that I do work longer hours, which then leads to not eating enough throughout the day or maybe not getting enough sleep at night. Also, working remotely, you don't have the advantage of an in-person communication or going out to lunch like you would working in an office setting. Stephen, could you speak more about the importance of having a balanced life and working remotely?
Yeah, absolutely. Working remotely can be a great option for some people, but when you're forced into it because of a pandemic, it's a different story. Usually when working remotely, you can clear your head by going to a cafe or to a gym. And since these options are now closed or not available to us, it's important to come up with creative solutions to get your mind off work or keep that balance. So we've asked our team to share some of their top work-life balances. And here's some of the top answers that came back. One, keep a schedule. Even if you share your calendar with coworkers, it just keeps people in the loop. And then keep to your regular schedule as well. Take breaks, step away from your home workstation, get some air, walk your pet, take some time to meditate. And then the other thing, we encourage flexibility. Right now, this is far from normal experience for everybody is affected by this. People working from home and maybe have family nearby. You might hear sometimes pets and children maybe in the background or running through camera screens and things like that. We'll just be keep flexibility in mind that everybody's going through difficult or interesting work environments. And then the last thing is connect with coworkers. At MasterSolve, we do this by making sure we have fun as a team. To stay connected, we make sure every team in the organization has check-ins with each other on a daily basis. These check-ins usually range from 15 minutes to 30 minutes and replace stopping by coworkers' desks or even the water cooler. And then to inject some fun into some of these stressful times, we've set up some gaming events and other virtual social activities. Small actions like these have made it easier for the staff and members of MasterSolve to find balance when they're away from the office.
So in closing, MasterSolve is a business and technology consultancy with deep expertise in customer engagement, business process optimization, customer relationship management, and marketing automation. If you would like to reach us to discuss any of the technologies or strategies mentioned today, give us a call. We will also be following up with the attendees with a recording of this presentation. That's all for the presentation. Thanks for listening. I see some questions coming in. We will have my colleague DeAndre, the marketing coordinator at MasterSolve, start our Q&A period.
Okay, thanks, Melissa. So we're about to enter the Q&A period, but before we do that, we've created another poll to get your feedback on this webinar. And while we're going through the questions that have been asked so far, feel free to answer the poll and ask any more questions you may feel you have in the chat facility now.
And just as a reminder to anyone, if you do have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat facility. There are also, you have the ability to raise your hand, and that will make it available for people to, we can unmute your line and you can ask the question live.
Perfect. So we can get into the first question I see here from Vanessa. So you brought up PandaDoc and DocuSign as the digital contract options. Could you go more into depth about the differences between these two platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. I can take that, DeAndre. Both PandaDoc and DocuSign are great solutions. The reason why we work with them is because they work and integrate really well with a number of CRM systems and leading CRM systems. This brings a lot of benefit because what you're able to do is you're able to have all those documents, quotes, proposals be accessible from the CRM system, so your salespeople always have access to the up-to-date proposals. You can see who's signing it. When people are viewing the document, you can even put things like videos and added additional like pictures and very graphical proposals from these. But the best part about this is using digital signatures for this, you know, as we can't get face-to-face with people to have people sign this provides legally binding digital signatures for individuals who want to use these solutions.
Perfect, thank you. And we have another question coming in from Cameron, and he's asking, what are some tips to prevent overworking when working remotely?
Yeah, I can take that one as well. Cameron, some of the things that we find is actually setting a schedule. And if you have a schedule you're already working with, try and keep that schedule. You know, you know, you might not have the flexibility, or you might have the flexibility of having family nearby, but also just making sure you schedule time with your family. I find every day that we dedicate some, you know, that we'll all have dinner together, and that breaks up my day. If I need to go back to working after that, or I feel like going back to work after that, I can do that. But you know, setting a schedule, keeping a schedule, getting fresh air, taking breaks, and scheduling breaks and stuff like that is sometimes helps ease your mind and get through things like this.
Okay, great. And I see one last one from Kendra, and she says, you had mentioned Google Drive as a way to access files. Are there any other file access platforms that you would recommend?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take that one. So to answer your question, Kendra, we use Google Drive internally, but there are many other file access platforms that do exist. So just to name a few, we got OneHub, eFile Cabinet, Dropbox Business, and then Microsoft OneDrive.
Okay, great. And I don't see any more questions coming in. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending our webinar today. We will be sending out a link of the video recording as well as links to our upcoming webinars. I hope you all have a great week, and thanks again.